Hey guys, it's day 50. Welcome to today's devlog. And what are we up to today? Well, we have, if you were watching last night, we sorted out our drinking, and off stream I also tidied up and updated the thirst counter. Okay, so with all that in mind, we have to load up our test map, of course. Good afternoon to you guys in the chat, and let's get on with this, shall we? So we realised that we had a problem if we picked up our food, put it in our inventory, and then we ate it. Okay, so we're going to basically have a look at that and find out what's going on. So we're going to get this button. We're going to find out what's going on. And we can take it from there, basically. Okay, so let's get on with it, shall we? So what we're going to do is pick that up. Okay, we're going to go to our inventory, click on it, and then click the use button. And that is correct. Now, I'm just wondering here if this is the same issue as the other night. Right? So we're going to step into this. We're going to step over that. We've got a value, and that should work. Right, but the thing is, we need to give it a moment to wind down a bit. What we'll do is, it looks like we've actually fixed the problem. It looks like the problem was associated with the eat, and that was causing us an issue in both our indicator, which is the little ham leg, and obviously it was causing us an issue in our inventory because it was basically calling eat as well. Okay, so we're all good. Just have to give it a second to count down a bit. And I think what we'll do next, right, is we'll take a look at something I've never done before. We're going to get a projected arrow path, right, because what I want to do is I want to find out if our arrow is going to hit something before we hit it, right? And then if we do hit it, then we activate the arrow cam. And if we don't hit it, don't hit anything, then we don't activate arrow cam. Okay, that is my plan for that system. Okay, I think we can do this now. Did I pick that up? I don't know. Right, we can see our food is at about, let's say, 70–80% or so. So we're going to hit, yeah, we picked up that. So we're going to use it. We're going to resume. We're going to jump out of there, and there it goes. Okay, so that is now working fine. Now, I did notice a problem there. And when we come out of our inventory, we have an issue. Right. Now, the thing you got to remember here is what I'm about to do doesn't look as if it makes sense, right? But it's the nature of widgets. Removing it from parent technically doesn't destroy it. Okay? So we can actually do code after we remove from parent. Okay? So we want to set this again. And set input mode. Okay, and yeah, we're going to get the player controller. Now you'll notice if I remove this, okay, what you'll see is if I hit the I, right, we've got our, but if I hit exit, we don't have control, right? This is what I'm trying to fix here. So we're switching it back over to the player controller. And you can see that takes us straight back. Okay? So that's cool. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to close that for now. We are going to be working on our pawn. Right, and we are going to be working on this part because this is the shooting the arrow, okay? You'll notice that we don't actually shoot the arrow in this case. Now, what I want to do I can't actually remember what this is called. Now, if we get the arrow, okay, and then we get the projectile, now why thank you IO Game Dev, I take it you develop as well. So the next thing we're trying to do is we're trying to find out a projectile path. I think it's predicted, right? Predicted or something, I'm guessing. I've seen this somewhere. Right? Let's say well, it's not predicted. Interesting. I'll tell you what we'll do, right? We'll actually have a look in BPRO because it's got it, and let's see what that has got in it, right? We'll see if there's anything here that's going to give us an idea. Initial speed, rotation follows, projectile gravity, should bounce, no, bounce angle, no, bounces, friction, min friction fraction, that's a good one. Let us know in the chat, IO Game Dev, what you're working on, if you're working on something and if you want to talk about it. Force substepping, simulation. Velocity. Right, question is, this part here, in actual fact, this sounds like, is this projectile simulation? Okay. I'm just going to type some things in here. I'm going to have to switch off this. predict, here we go, predict projectile path. Right. See, I knew it existed. Now, what is this? So we'll make well, we can do this. And that gives us right, okay. Okay, we can live with that, right? Now, our start location is basically self, right? So we want the actor transform. In fact, no we don't. We just want the location. Right. Okay, actor location. Right, our launch velocity $10,000. Yep, that's what we want. Okay, that's fine. Young Min Kim, how did you learn blueprints? Practice. A couple of tutorials. Trace channel. World dynamic. Maximum time. Um, 0.1, I suppose. It really all depends. What I try to do is I don't necessarily, like if I'm using a tutorial, right, if it's a YouTube tutorial or whatever, right, I don't use their code. If it's something that I have very little knowledge on, then I only take the major points from the tutorial and then basically I do it myself from there. Well, you're not really, it's just whether you prefer it or not. I just did this as a different way of doing it, the blueprints, because I was a programmer, so I was used to just sitting looking at text on a screen, right? And I just did this because I wanted to draw pretty patterns, right? But you've just got to remember that all the concepts are exactly the same. It's just writing code in a different way, in a visual format rather than just, you know, text. But it is exactly the same thing, because basically all you're doing is calling C++ stuff. Now, this is an interesting one. Right, now, we probably don't want to do anything here, right? For the moment. We are going to do it eventually, but sim frequency 20. Okay, for our purposes, probably 10 is going to do it then, right? Hi, Screen Apple, Storm Run Gaming, how are you guys today? Hope you're all well. We're going to do this for 10 seconds, right? Now, we're just going to stick this in somewhere to start with, right? Just to test it. And we're probably going to have to move it to somewhere else after the fact, right? But this is going to determine whether ArrowCam actually gets shown or not, right? So, right, are we... Yeah, we need to do something with this. Right, I wonder what this predict results breaks out into. Path data last traced. Hit result. Right, that's cool. I'm guessing that this, if it hits something, yeah, that's a basic hit something. Right? Now, this is not what we want to do. We want to get the hit result, right, and break the hit result. And then we want to get the actor and find out what it is. Why don't I do that? I don't do that because it's easier just to switch on my camera and just stream it, rather than see, the problem is all the time taken comes from editing, right? So like, even to do like a 10-minute video, you've got to script it, you've got to make all the stuff, then you've got to do it, and for the amount of time it takes, you can just turn the camera on or the stream on and, you know, then we can basically say has tag, right? And for our purposes, we're going to say hittable, right? As I said, we are just testing a theory here. I don't know how you'd handle that, storm run, but basically, if you hit something, right, I would turn off its physics and stuff on impact. Or turn off its collision when it overlaps. Why don't I give it a... Because, right, here's the problem. You say that more people would be interested. Right, well, I would kind of beg to differ. I would say it's hit and miss whether it's people are interested in or not. Most of the things I find on YouTube, it's completely hit or miss. Right? Some videos I think will do well, they don't. Some streams I think nobody will watch, they do well. You just don't know. There's no, as I said, if there was a tried and trusted way to be super popular on YouTube, everybody would do it. And everybody would get 1 million views on every video. And it's fairly obvious that that just doesn't happen, which tells you that there is no actual recipe to succeed. The only recipe I've found is to basically do this regularly as possible, right? So twice a day, right? And then basically you get people like Stormrun and Screen Apple, and there's a few others who join me every day or every other day, and then that helps because basically other people see that other people are watching, and people being sheep, they go, oh, that must be worth watching then, right? That's the theory I'm going off, right? But as I said, there's nothing tried and tested about any of this. Right, so I'm going to have to go to my wildlife and my base wildlife, right? And then I'm going to have to give them a tag called hittable. And then I'm going to have to go into my monstery dude, and I'm going to have to do the same for him so that we can test this. Right. So now, in theory, when I shoot my arrow, we should see a debug line if it hits something. Right? If we hit either a wildlife or a zombie parasite dude. Right, so 1, 2, 3. Right, so yeah. So I guess we do that again and hit a breakpoint there. Okay. So, what do we get? We got a false. My computer, there's actually a video on it. If you check the video, there's a video with my specs. It's a i5 4690 and two 9080 Ti's, and it's all water cooled. But it's pretty old now, it's about 7 years old. Right, so we basically got nothing. We hit something, apparently. Oh, we hit our own arrow. Yeah, but it depends what generation. My generation i5 is like 7 years old, so it's like God knows what generation. Actually, you know what? We could do that. Is there not a ignore self? I guess it's because this is completely separate. 70, ¿no? Esta noche o mañana? Noche. Okay. Okay. So yeah, where we go. We are hitting ourselves. So this kind of points to the fact that I shouldn't do it in the arrow. Right? But we're learning. This is one of these things. Apparently we hit nothing. Oh, that's awesome. Right, now I've got absolutely zero idea what. Wait a minute. Right, whatever. Right. So apparently we didn't hit that wildlife. Right? So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say print string, right? I'm not I'm going to do that. And then do that. Right, and then we're going to do that. And then we're going to put up, let's say 10 seconds. Right, so at least if we do miss, we can fire it a few times and it'll tell us if we're missing it or not. Right. Because I'm never sure if I actually miss or not, because I'm just a terrible shot. And it says none. Now the interesting thing is there, that looks like it hit something, didn't it? That little thing looks like we hit something, but it didn't pass back the right thing. Right? So, I know why. I think I know why. I'll bet you this actor doesn't have the tag on it. Right? Because I updated in it. Updated it. See, it's not got... Right, okay. So what I'm going to do, this is something you've got to be wary of yourselves, guys, is sometimes when you make changes to the blueprint, I prefer to do it this way. You can actually say update, right? But since I'm doing this anyway, I'm just going to bring in the stag again, right? And it should have the tag now. And then just for sporting purposes and testing, we'll do a few. I'm just dropping them down to the right. Right. Okay. Right. So that just shows you that I'm a terrible shot. And we hit it BP stag 2. Okay? Now, I've got absolutely zero idea why. Right, BP stag. Cool. Right. So that's actually working. Okay. Now, what, I mean, I always answer these questions myself, really, but I think what we'll do is we'll look at our arrow, right, and it's only if we hit something that we're going to activate our camera. Okay? So, we're going to work on that, but I'm going to have to go and get cigarettes first, right? So I'm going to have to take a break for a little bit longer than usual, not much. I'll be probably about 10 minutes at the most, and I'll walk really fast, I promise, right? And the shop's just around the corner, so I'll be back in 10. If you're enjoying the stream, hit like and subscribe. And then when we come back, what we're going to do is we're going to update the arrow cam to only activate if we predict we're going to hit something, right? So basically, if I fire into the water, which usually happens, right, it's not going to activate arrow cam. Okay, so I'll be back in as quickly as possible. Don't go anywhere, guys. Check out the description for links, etc. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that, guys. I apologise profusely. Right, so our point here is we are successfully predicting if we're going to hit or not, okay? And what we want to do is tie this to our arrow cam. So, in actual fact, this is in the completely wrong place. Okay, but our code actually does stand. Okay. Now, I've got a question for you guys, right? You guys, a lot of people out there all the time are like, oh, I'm too old for this, blah, 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 right? There's only a few, but there are. So, what type of music do you guys like? Answers in the chat. So I'm going to cut that. Okay. And we're actually going to do this in the pawn when we fire at this particular part here. Okay. So this code is actually we're going to paste it in here. Right? And that's going to get deleted. And to be perfectly honest, if we miss, we don't need to do any of this. Right, basically here is where we do it. Okay. Oh yeah, and while I'm at it, thanks to the people who have subscribed today. That's very kind of you. I did have a little look, it has to be said, before I left at the counter. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the sound. We might still spawn it, okay? But we're just going to find out if we can stop our arrow cam. For the moment, that's our first target in this. Okay. We should start getting weird results. Okay. Which is fine. It's all fine. So, our first task is basically shoot the ground. And that's kinda right. Okay? Nothing should happen really. But if we do that, well, it kind of worked. Now you can see there that our stuff isn't working. Right, so we're going to have a look at that. Back in a sec, guys. Okay. So, we're going to dismiss this for now. Okay, now the problem here is we actually probably want to do it before we spawn the arrow or anything. Right, so I'm going to do that. And then we're going to check to see if we actually hit anything. So I'm going to add a reroute node in there to make it a bit easier. Right, and this is going to go to here. And then this is going to plug back in here. Now the interesting thing is this play sound is actually going to go, well, this play sound here is going to go right at the start, right, before we spawn it, because obviously no matter if they hit or miss, we want it to show that, or we want a sound of the arrow getting fired, right? So the question is, at this point our arrow isn't spawned, right? So basically we can't hit an arrow. Okay, so we don't need an actors to ignore. So with that in mind, we should be able to try it. Right, so okay, we're hitting ourselves. Now I don't know why this has got, it's not got an ignore self, but anyway. Try that again. Okay, we're hitting nothing apparently. Okay. Let's get a breakpoint in there and find out. What's going on? Ah, wait a minute. So this location Right, we don't want that. Okay, we're gonna have to stop this. Okay. And this thing here is going to go there. Okay. So now these should match. There we have a branch. Now do we have a hit? Nope. Apparently I am a terrible shot again. Okay. So why are we not hitting? Why are we not hitting anything is the question. Now it could be no, because it's printing out nothing, right? So we're getting nothing. So the actor that we are hitting is nothing. Okay, so the point being that if I shoot, right, if I shoot like right, now notice where our prediction is. Right? So basically what's happening is we are hitting, for some reason, way up there. Okay. So if I actually aim at the ground, look at that. Right, now I'm guessing that there's 10 of these into the distance, right? So what I'm wondering is, Okay. Right. So we have to spawn the actor. Right. Now this is still going to need a bit of tweaking. Right. And we're going to remove this. And we're going to remove, oh, we're going to add that. Right. We're going to get actor location. Actor location. No, we don't want to move the actor. Right, so this is basically what we were doing. Okay. Now the weird thing to me, I'm not going to worry about it at this point, but what I don't get is why it doesn't take the rotation into account. Right? Right, notice that still up there. Right, okay, we know you didn't hit anything, right? So how come it worked in the arrow, but it didn't work in here? Right, let's put it back in the arrow, right? So we'll copy that. Now, I can only think that the only reason it worked was because we'd already hit right now. The point being that the time between this is spawned and hitting something is weird. Okay, we're going to try something else. We have to actually do this in the pond, right? But we're going to have to go about it in a slightly different way. Okay? In the first instance, we're going to go about it by drawing a line trace, right? So we're going to say line trace by channel, right? Our start point is going to be here. Our end point actually, what is our forward vector going to be? Well, it's going to be the rotation, isn't it? Right, so we're going to get the forward vector of that. Then we're going to multiply it by let's say 10,000. Right, and then we're going to vector plus vector. We're going to add them. Then that goes in there. Right. Then we're going to duplicate that. And that is going to go in there. The heck? So we're going to make array. Right. That goes in there. We don't need to do the self because all the trace has got a draw time 15, debug for duration, save that. Right, draw that, save that. Right, so if I fire now, right, that's good, we're getting a line. Okay, so that is actually cool, but the problem is well, to be fair, we don't have a problem. We could do this based on right. Now you'll notice there's a difference. Now the reason there's a difference is because when we fire the arrow, it has got a drop on it. Okay. Now, I'm just wondering here. Right, I'm going to escape that for now. And press play again. What I actually want here, right, funnily enough, is I want to see if this matches the arrow. Right? So I don't want the arrow to destroy itself. Now it certainly looks to me like it's matching the arrow trajectory, which is right. Now whether it's actually hitting it looks to me like it's not hitting the right place, right? mean, it's not that far off, but you can definitely see that that is not if this game sells well, you'll be lucky to get a Greenland 2, because I'll be on a beach in some faraway place somewhere, probably drunk in a gutter. Right, now that was very interesting. And so was that. Because for whatever reason, basically our targeting offsetting isn't quite right. Our target offset on the Z seems to be slightly off. Yeah, it's 35. Now, I wonder if I change this to 0, it suddenly becomes yes, I did screen. Well, I've finished the logic of it and the first iteration. Let me put it that way. It's something that I will revisit, but I'll show you, right? So basically, you need this, right, to light the fire. So if you light the fire, right, then if we pull out our bow and then we go into aiming mode, there, we light our arrow. Okay, and damn it, if I go up to here, it's right, you can't see it there, right, but if it's dark, you'll notice that it gives off light. Right? Pretty cool, huh? And it does work with the monsters as well. So you can't shoot. Right, easiest way is to show you, okay? Right, so if we go to our parasite zombie dude and drag him in, right, and then press play, right, there's parasite zombie dude, right, shoot him, you'll notice he doesn't die, okay? So if we then pick up our thing, light our That's the end result, but I don't have the effects for it yet, so... But I can show you that it will work, right? Because now... So, basically, obviously our isn't lit, right? And we go over here and it lights, right? And now, if we shoot him, he dies, right? So that shows you the logic works, okay? First time I shot him, doesn't kill him. Other time I shoot him, does kill him. If I light the arrow on fire, okay? So there we have it. But no, it didn't die with no fire. Let me show you again, right? No fire, right? Oh, no fire. Shoot bad guy. Doesn't kill him. He just gets hit. Okay? Just gets hit. So I can shoot him as many times as I like. He just gets hit. Alright, doesn't die. So he's going to become a pincushion, right? Doesn't die. Okay? But if I pick this up and I light a fire, I stick that in the fire and then I shoot him, or we missed him. Right, I'm not sure if this still counts as a fiery arrow. I'm not sure if I can fire straight now. Oh dearie heavens. Right, so he stopped, right? Boom. He dies now. Now that's just a little quirk that I need to sort out, that once an arrow has been fired, then it basically stops it being a fiery arrow, right? But yeah, anyway, where was I? Completely forgot where I was and what I was doing. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. Right, and that is just to ignore the arrow, which isn't spawned yet. Right. So, in theory, I'm going to have a further look into that, guys, right? But for the moment, I can do that. I I can delete that. I can delete that. And I can delete that. Right. And the thing is, this is going to cause, as I said, this is going to cause errors, right? But we're not really worried about this, per se. We're going to fix it up. The reason I'm fairly okay with this is the fact that alright, wait a minute. Right, so if it's false, we don't actually need to do really anything. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. This, we're not playing a sound yet, but the logic should be this, that we play the sound. Then we do our line trace. Right. And right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that. Then I'm going to drag that to there. And then I'm going to do that. Okay. So that's fine. Looks like crap. But now, if we shoot something in, like, for example, the ground, or anything else for that matter, right, it's not going to do the camera, okay? Now, if we shoot this guy, it is going to do the camera. Again, we shoot that. It's not showing us the camera. If we shoot something, it does do the camera. Now, the funny thing is, the speed at which all of this happens is kind of off-putting. Okay. And this is the thing that we're going to have to change. And basically, wherever we destroy self is where we need to look. Right? So we need to tidy this part up a bit as well. Okay. And I've just been sent new logos, I think. So we'll unzip and let you guys see it and see what you guys think of it. Okay. Let me... Right. You guys can have a vote on this. What you think? What do you think? Either that one. This is our banner, right? Either that one or this one. Which one did, yeah, or this one. The red or the blue. Which one do you prefer, guys? The red or the blue? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Red or blue? Pick a side. Right. So I'm going to leave it there, guys, for just now. If you've enjoyed it, anywhere near as I have, been having a good time, hit like and subscribe. Check out the description for links to the game's Discord, my personal Discord where I help people out in Unreal or whatever, my Patreon, and my previous game on Steam, which is on sale for $1, tower defense game. So thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. Thanks Screen Apple for hanging around. To everybody else who joined in, IO Game Dev, Stormrun, there was another couple of people I think somewhere, Young Min Kim, I shall be back tonight, 8 PM. I'll probably have done a little bit more work on this by that time, tidied things up. So I shall see you then. Bye bye for now.